Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia. This is the summary for the day of day 50 and day 51, and then it's for 14 and 15 of April. So I did not make a report yesterday for the summary for yesterday because I was busy. I was out the whole day, so I wasn't able to do the summary. So there are still things happen. So before we start, please press the like button. Later I will make a video and tell you why I need you to press the like button. So please press the like button, and if you have not subscribed, do subscribe, especially if you don't want to subscribe and then you see the content and think that it's actually not bad, and then please subscribe. And then okay, let's go on to the report. So let's start off with missile strikes. So the bombardment of Kiev restarted again. Actually, this happens the day before. The Russians have not been bombarding or firing missiles at Kiev actually for some time already, and somehow the bombardment of Kiev restarted again. So they have already stopped since they retreated away from the northern front, and then now they restarted because the Russians have enough with the Ukrainians for attacking Russian territory. So the Ukrainians have been firing missiles and once, and then they have helicopter raids into Russian territory like twice. So the Russians had enough with that. So there are some comments, this was before there was any confirmation when I plotted this. So there's explosion in Kiev, bright flashes, and then local resident talk about the situation in Kiev, and you see such a shock wave has not yet been felt all this time, all these things. So there's a lot of bombardment situation. So after that, the Russians came out with a statement through the Ministry of Defense briefing. They said that the number and the scale of missile strikes will increase in response to the commission. There's some broken English, but in response to any attack and sabotage on Russian territory. So not just missile strikes, I forgot about it. They also have sabotages. They bombed railway bridges, and there's probably a lot of other things that is probably not reported. My own suspicion is that there might be some commandos or saboteurs, whatever you want to call them, operating within Russian territory and trying to see what they can do to disrupt the supply line. And so this is something new, because they have not been attacking Kiev, which is why we saw a lot of foreign leaders visiting Kiev as if it's a tourist site. And this escalation seems to also suggest that Russia is running out of patience. There is this helicopter strike at Klimovo. So Klimovo is this town here within Russia. So they said, so according to the source, they say that two combat helicopters equipped with offensive weapon, of course it is illegal, invaded into the airspace of Russia. So they travel in low altitude. For those that don't believe this is possible, please, it is possible. They have already done it quite a number of times. And they fly at low altitude, so they conducted airstrike on residential buildings, which is kind of weird. So they call Klimovo a village, and then as a result of hits and explosion of shells, at least 6 buildings were damaged, and then 7 people is injured, including 1 child. So this is not important. So the question is, why did the Ukrainians actually attack this village or this town, and why not this one or not this one? I'm not so sure why is this so specific that they want to attack this place. Maybe is it because it's one of the more major towns? It seems to be a cross junction of all these villages. So yeah, these are all small villages. So, and it is the nearest one, nearest major town, because the next one is actually at Novozibkov. So maybe this is as far as they dare to go, and it's around 100 kilometers. So it's not exactly is there an airbase here? Oh, so okay, there's an airbase there. So so it could be like a 60 kilometer raid. So that wouldn't take very long. Maybe 50 minutes flight in, and then take a hit, and then fire their missiles and whatever, and then they come back. So what is significant is that these two helicopters, one of them got shot down over Horodnya. So according to the same briefing, they said that this is not the same briefing, the other briefing. This briefing came first. Then after that, this came later in the day. The Russian Ministry of Defense said that the S-400 shot down a Mi-8 that attacked the village of Klimovo over Horodnya at Chernihiv region when it's returning to the airbase. So ignore the way how this English is written here. Because this is translated from Russia, so the English is actually broken. So it was shot over Horodnya. So likely is that they are trying to return to the airbase. So let's move it close to the airbase. Maybe they got complacent. They fly a bit high, and then they got tracked by the S-400 after when they come back into Ukrainian territory. So the significant thing is that there is now deployment of S-400, and the Russian make it clear that it's by the S-400. So it's not a S-300, it's not an Igla, it's not a Pencil. They make it clear that they actually now have S-400 guarding the border. So I believe this is a interesting development that previously the Russians never mentioned about S-400 being deployed at the border. Of course, it does make sense that they should have S-400 deployed, but it seems like the helicopter raid the other day on Belgorod kind of pissed them off already. So this is why maybe they have the S-400 deployed. And however, S-400 doesn't mean they can hit something that is flying low. So I believe one of these helicopters got cocky. When they are returning, once they enter the Ukrainian territory, they flew a bit too high, and then it got tracked by the S-400 and then got shot down. So otherwise, if they continue to the low flying, this is very unlikely that they can get hit. So moving on to another aircraft, a Sukhoi 27 of the Ukrainian Air Force got shot down over Lozova. So no idea what shot them down, but I wouldn't be surprised there is a deployment of S-400 even closer, even within the Ukrainian territory. But it's not necessary. S-400 has a ridiculous range, so they can be deployed within Russian territory to shoot down this aircraft if it flew too high. Going south, should I go here? Okay, let's go here first. So the Russian cruiser Moskva. So in the previous summary, I believe it's the previous summary, I reported that the Russian Defense Ministry mentioned that the vessel is still afloat, and they were trying to tow it to Sevastopol. So what wasn't clear was how far it was actually from Sevastopol, and then according to this report, it's actually from the Defense Ministry. They say that the cruiser still sunk while being towed to port, because due to the hull damage caused by ammunition detonation, and then the stormy sea caused it to sink. There's a Ukrainian analysis, not Ukrainian, but Western analyst on Twitter mentioned that the weather wasn't that bad. So it is a little bit stormy, but it's not that bad. So he believed that the damage from the missile strike is actually quite significant. And the Russian Defense Ministry actually mentioned that it is some 90 kilometers south of Odessa. So when the fire broke out, so this is actually rather near to the coast. You see, it's 90 kilometers. So it is not surprising that it can be hit, because the anti-ship missile did not need to be here. It can be here, and this distance is actually really short. At 50 kilometers, the missile will just take less than a minute, I believe, to hit it. So just to add a bit on the significance is that other than this, the name of the ship is called Moscow, which is a clear connotation on the significance of this ship, and not just that it's a flagship of the Black Sea Fleet, but what is important is that this is a missile cruiser. So this missile cruiser have a lot of missile defense, and theoretically, missile strikes at this cruiser usually will not work unless they ran out of missiles. So this applies to like the United States Aegis class destroyer is a missile vessel. So typically these missile vessels they can defend the fleet very well. So these cruisers has a job of providing a shield for the entire fleet, where they have a lot of missiles that can defend the fleet. But getting hit by cruise missiles just shows the vulnerability of even the best of the defense systems. So this should voice some alarm. So then let's go to the southern front first, since we are so near. In Mykolaiv, there is some mention by Ukrainian sources that the Russians have been trying to attack on the west side of Kherson, but did not work. There's some attack here, but no, there is no clear indication that actually happened. So I only saw it on the pro-Ukrainian analyst map that they mentioned about this. However, the Russian Defense Ministry make a lot of noise about this. The Ukraine launched two Tushka-U at this hydroelectric dam. So this dam also not just provide power, but they also provide water into the canals. So the two Tushka-U missile is shot down by the Russian air defense. So you see, both missiles were shot down by air defense. So they talk about the fragments dropping on the kindergarten, very convenient, and of course a child must be injured in this kind of situation. So, and then they make a lot of noise because they say that this facility regulates the flow of the Dnieper River and electric supply to the Kherson area, supply water to Crimea and the south of Ukraine and whatnot. Then they say that the Ukrainians want to cause an uncontrolled discharge of the Dnipro water and cause flooding in the settlements in the Kherson region in order to constrain the actions of the Russian armed forces, which is not surprising. So if you have watched the last video on the catch-up video on day 50, I just want to apologize. The video is for my standard is really messy. My points are all over the place because I was really tired. But my point was that this Ukraine launch basically operates on a total war basis, so they are willing to have any level of infrastructure damage in order just to win the war. So this is not a surprising thing, and this also shows that the Ukrainians have no confidence in taking Kherson. If the reason is if the Ukrainians military have the confidence to actually counterattack, take Kherson and take Nova Kakhovka, then there is no need to destroy the dam. But the decision to destroy the dam shows that they have no confidence in taking this position, and they probably have no confidence in taking Kherson as well. So this is how you see what is the actually based on the actions that they take, you can know what they are thinking. So the Ukrainians are unlikely to be able to break through the Russian lines now, given this action basically would have make their own life difficult should they have the ability to take this entire territory. They will cause flooding into their own path, and they won't be able to effectively fight across the Dnieper River into the southern Kherson to liberate this territory, this land here. So there is also a report which is I don't think it's very important. I think it's mayor of Oleshki announced that the town is now fully controlled by the Russians, and I found that hilarious because then how would the Russians be able to cross this bridge to Kherson if this town is not taken? So I just thought that this very out of the blue kind of thing, So I didn't indicate on the map because I think it's nonsensical. According to a Ukrainian source, or pro-Ukrainian source, the Twitter is called Canadian Ukraine One. Anyway, he mentioned that there's a entrenchment of Lubimovka, Petrivka, as well as Kreshchenivka by the Russians in order to strengthen their forward position. So it's these three villages here. So we can also kind of confirm that the Russians are very determined to hold this line here. And what is significant about this line is that you can see this dotted line here. This is Kherson Oblast. So this is part of the Kherson region, and I believe that the Russians will eventually want to take back Novovorovsovska, as well as also Korivka, as well as take back all this land under their control, because previously they have already controlled all these positions and they actually stopped there. So it's clear that they want the entire of Kherson Oblast, and currently they are missing some parts of the land, some part of the puzzle, because the Ukrainian counteroffensive. So the Russians have to dig in, and there's nothing the Ukrainians can do about it as well. So largely a stalemate situation. Let's move to Mariupol. So huge news coming out from Mariupol. Okay, let me short off a B here. The Ministry of Defense of Russia announced that they have completely liberated or captured the Illyich iron and steel works from the Ukrainian nationalists, or basically Ukrainian military. So Illyich is basically this entire factory area plus a bit of here. So basically this entire massive complex, industrial complex, is now fully cleared by the Russians. This is only possible because of the 1,000 around 1,200 over soldiers have surrendered, and that is not inclusive of the many more that have died trying to counter attack out and do a tactical retreat away from Mariupol, which failed. So many people died. I think at least 500 soldiers have been killed doing that operation, and of course not including all the other bombardments and fighting that caused their death of other of their brigade mate. So the map, as a result, I clear out this entire area, and then now the Ukrainian positions now looks like this. I am not sure about this part, so I think maybe a good idea is just to do this. Okay, so the situation around this region here is unclear. There is almost no reports about this part. There's also no reports about this part as well. So the assumption by a lot of analysts was that this is actually held by the Ukrainians. Then this is assumed to be held by the Ukrainians as well. So, and then of course there's a major force at Azovstal, and then there's some randoms of the troops at the train station area, which is the train station is here. Not sure about this situation here. We can confirm here is cleared because Patrick Lancaster was there. So the encirclement continues to get close, smaller and smaller, closer and closer. There's a report of Russia using bombers to bomb Azovstal, and then some people seems to be really excited about it. Personally, I don't think that makes any difference. I don't think it makes a difference at all. I think it's a waste of money, because what can the bomber do that an artillery cannot do? So the Russians have been using a lot of artillery around this region and bombarding Azovstal for most of the time, and they have also Iskander missiles. They have all sorts of missiles they can use. So adding a bomber into the attack, I don't think it makes a lot of difference. And also, the modern bombers do not actually fly over Mariupol to bomb. I think there's some misconception based on the things that I have read in the Telegram group, as well as I think on some of the comments in YouTube, in the YouTube channels. I think, oh no, on Twitter and stuff like that. The modern bombers, at least for the Russians, they do not do dumb bombing. At least they wouldn't be doing as well, because they are all usually missile based. So they will be flying very far away, maybe around here, and then they fire a long range missile and then just hit it. The bombers do not really need to fly over Mariupol, and so these modern bombers don't really need to do that, unless and usually the ones that will fly over to drop a bomb, usually those are fighter bombers, the small ones, not the big ones. If the Russians have to fly over and do a carpet bombing, then I will be rather amused by that, because modern day we don't really do carpet bombings, because as you probably would have known if you are into World War II, carpet bombings is not really that effective. It's just a terror weapon. It just makes life difficult for the civilians, and to destroy very big industrial facilities. It's not really, it doesn't really change tactical situations. That's why it's called a strategic bombing. So carpet bombing is on the strategic basis. It's just meant to destroy industries, and which all these things are now replaced with missile strikes. So there's no really advantage in doing carpet bombings. So I don't think they did that. So, and I don't think it makes any difference. So that's my position on that thing. Moving north of Mariupol, there is no change in the situation west of Donetsk. Everything seems to be stuck. There's no news about Avdiivka, the north of Avdiivka. No news about Novoselivka. On Popasna, you can see this green dot. I haven't indicate because I don't think it's very meaningful, because we don't get enough information about Popasna, so I cannot put a mapping like how we did on Mariupol on where are the positions captured by the Ukrainians and what are positions captured by the Russians. But we can kind of like have a sense that 1 kilometers away from the radar, the city council building, this area is likely to be now all Russian. But however, I'm not so sure the Russian attack from the east side or the south side, so mapping it will not be very accurate, especially given that Russians previously said they have captured the city, only to continue to fight for another 3 weeks in Popasna. So just know that they are very happy about putting the flag there, and that's about it. There's no news about on the rest of Luhansk front as well. I have tried to check. They basically all was just bombardments on Crimea, on Lysychansk and Severodonetsk, and not much news about Rubizny as well. So it went quiet. So moving on to the Kharkiv-Izyum Front. So the Russian Defense Ministry advertised again about another strike on the Foreign Legion. So they say their rocket troops, basically just rockets or MLRS, or it could be Grads, it could be Iskander, it could be something. They hit a detachment of mercenaries of the Polish foreign fighters. They estimated up to 30 Polish mercenaries were killed. The interesting thing is they are in Izyumske. Izyumske is this village here. So this is actually all the way close to the border of Kharkiv, and this territory was previously conquered by the Luhansk People's Republic. So it's rather interesting that they are here. So I was contemplating about moving the border back, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Maybe they infiltrated into this position. So I just got to leave it here until we have more information about Ukrainian positions around this area. This alone isn't really that clear to me. So the Ukrainian general staff, which I did not see this report on the official one. This is from a Twitter post by Walter Lake. He said that the Russians have amassed 15,000 troops around Izyum. So I indicated here 15,000. So this could be, if true, this could be the massing of troops to launch a new offensive, because the current situation on Sulivkivka and Dohemske is totally no news, and I'm not even sure if they are fighting at all. And Sulivkivka, basically, if you try to search in Twitter, nothing comes up. So I'm not sure if there's even a ban on this search term, or is it just because they have deleted anything on Sulivkivka from, or disabled searching of Sulivkivka word for anything beyond a few days? Because I encountered this before when I was covering Myanmar, the Myanmar situation, where they start to cut out any tweets that is older than 2 days, or older than a few days, or older than 1 week from the search results. So it could be a case where there is actually no news, or it could be a kind of a shadow banning of this search term. I'm not so sure. So there's no news regarding this part. And in terms of Kharkiv front, there's also no news what is happening. So this is the, I believe, okay, there's something else. So there is a huge amount of military vehicles spotted being transported on the train in a Tyumen railway station. It's actually very far away. You can see that it's this far away, like super far. It's on the train, and in the video there's a stupid amount of grads being transported. So if this is meant to be transported to the Ukraine war, then that could mean that the Russians are pissed off and they're going to escalate this entire war to a totally new level, to use more troops than what they have committed so far. However, this cannot be confirmed, because it could be a case where they went for an exercise and then they are now just moving to redeploy to somewhere else, or perhaps they might even be redeployed to Finland, the border with Finland, rather than to the Ukraine theater of war. So I just want to mention this. We are not sure where's their destination, because Finland is now aggravating the situation with Russia because of their intention to join NATO, and the Russians are not really happy about it, and they are threatening to nuclearize this region here, whatever that's supposed to mean. So these people might be traveling to this area. So that is a possibility. So anyway, this is the summary for day 50 and day 51. For those that isn't so clear about what is actually happening, if you are new to the conflict, to my channel, you can watch the last video, which is the catch-up video for day 50 of the war. It's not very well made, I feel, because I was talking while I'm really tired. I'm really sleepy, so I might ramble a bit. Not my best moment, I guess. So basically, but that will give you a kind of a sensing of the situation on the ground, what could be happening, what the Russians want, what the Ukrainian wants, what they could be doing, and what could be the solutions to the conclusion to this war. If you lazy to watch, I will just tell you that the conclusion is this war is going to drag on for a long time. So anyway, this is the summary. Please press the like button if you have not pressed the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next update.
Defense Politics Asia is a Singapore-based geopolitical and defense news media come think tank focusing on Asia from an Asian perspective. We try to provide insights on complicated issues and cast spotlights on underreported stories to give a voice to those that would otherwise not be heard. You can find out more geopolitical and military news, as well as in-depth opinions and analysis on www.defensepoliticsasia.com. To support our work, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel here, or you can become a patron on our Patreon at patreon.com/defensepoliticsasia and get access to exclusive content while be a part of the people that shapes the future of this unique platform. Please remember to press the like button and subscribe to our channel.